Imagine a time when the sky was the only map, the only calendar, the only clock. A time when people looked up at the stars searching for meaning, to predict the future, or to worship their gods. The sky is a vast and mysterious canvas that has inspired many civilizations and cultures to create their own artworks and stories on it, as well as to look for clues of otherworldly visitors in their crafts. From stone circles that align with the solstices, to pyramids that point to the Orion's belt, to mysterious sculptures that depict celestial events, there are many artifacts and objects that reveal the secrets of our ancestors' knowledge and beliefs. They are the bridges that connect us to other worlds, cosmic relics that hold many forgotten secrets. They are the echoes of the past and the whispers of the future. Some of these artifacts are so amazing that they seem to defy the boundaries of science and technology of their time and reveal a deep understanding of the cosmos. The fascinating mystery of these artifacts has sparked many researches, but also unbelievable hypotheses, involving sometimes extraterrestrial influences. There are also some enigmatic phenomena that suggest the presence of advanced technology and intelligence beyond our own, like the unidentified objects in space. So, let's take a look at some of the most remarkable examples and discover the controversies and mysteries that surround them and how scientists are trying to solve them. If there are other intelligent civilizations out there, how would they communicate with us? Would they send us a message, a probe, or maybe even a spaceship? Well, some scientists think that we might have already encountered a sign of extraterrestrial life in the form of a mysterious object that zoomed past our solar system in 2017. This object, named Oumuamua, which means scout or messenger in Hawaiian, was unlike anything we have ever seen before. It was the first interstellar visitor detected by our telescopes, meaning that it came from another star system. But what was it exactly? And could it be an alien spacecraft? Let's look at some of the facts and arguments that support this intriguing possibility. First of all, Oumuamua had a very unusual shape and size. It was estimated to be between 100 and 1,000 meters long, but only about 35 meters wide and thick. That means it was very elongated and flattened, like a cigar or a pancake. In fact, it was more elongated than any natural object we know of in our solar system. Some researchers suggested that such a shape could be ideal for a light sail, a type of spacecraft that uses the pressure of sunlight to propel itself through space. A light sail could explain why Oumuamua accelerated as it left the solar system, which is not typical for an asteroid or a comet. Secondly, Oumuamua had a very unusual color and brightness. It was reddish in hue, which is common for objects in the outer solar system that are exposed to cosmic rays. However, it also varied in brightness by a factor of 10 as it rotated every 8 hours. This suggests that it had a very irregular shape or surface features that reflected light differently from different angles. Some researchers speculated that Oumuamua could be covered with a thin layer of dust or organic material that masked its true nature. Perhaps underneath this layer there was a metallic or artificial structure that could reveal its alien origin. Thirdly, Oumuamua had a very unusual orbit and origin. It entered our solar system from above the plane of the ecliptic, where most of the planets and asteroids orbit the Sun. It also had a hyperbolic trajectory, meaning that it was moving too fast to be captured by the Sun's gravity. This implies that it came from another star system, but which one? Astronomers tried to trace back its path and found some possible candidates, but none of them seemed to be a perfect match. Moreover, Oumuamua's orbit was very close to the so-called local standard of rest, which is the average motion of stars in our galaxy. This is very rare for an interstellar object, and some researchers argued that it could be a sign of a deliberate navigation. Of course, these arguments are not conclusive, and there are many alternative explanations for Oumuamua's strange properties. For example, it could be a fragment of a larger object that was torn apart by tidal forces or collisions in its home system. It could also be a new type of comet that does not produce a visible tail or coma when heated by the sun. Or it could be something else entirely that we have not yet imagined. The truth is, we may never know for sure what Oumuamua really was or where it came from. It is now too far away for our telescopes to observe it again. But its brief visit has sparked our curiosity and imagination like never before. It has reminded us that there are still many mysteries and wonders in the universe waiting to be discovered. And who knows? Maybe one day we will receive another visitor from the stars. And maybe this time we will be ready to greet them. Have you ever wondered if the ancient Egyptians had access to advanced technology that we don't know about? Some people have claimed that they found evidence of helicopters, airplanes, and submarines in an ancient temple in Egypt. But is this really true, or just a case of wishful thinking? The temple in question is the Temple of Seti I at Abydos, one of the most important religious sites in ancient Egypt. Seti I was a pharaoh who ruled from 1294 to 1279 BC, and he built this temple to honor himself and the gods. The temple is decorated with many beautiful and intricate carvings of hieroglyphs. One of these carvings, however, has attracted a lot of attention from some modern observers. It is located in one of the inner chambers of the temple. If you look closely at this carving, you might see something that looks like a helicopter, with a rotor blade on top and a tail at the back. Next to it, you might also see something that resembles an airplane, with wings and a cockpit. And below them, you might spot something that could be a submarine, with a propeller and a periscope. These images have been interpreted by some people as proof that the ancient Egyptians had knowledge of modern technology, perhaps given to them by time travelers or aliens. They have been called the helicopter hieroglyphs, and they have been used to support various theories of ancient astronauts and lost civilizations. But there is a much more plausible and scientific explanation for these mysterious images. They are not actually depictions of modern technology, but rather the result of an accidental overlap of two different sets of hieroglyphs. You see, the Temple of Seti I was not completed during his lifetime, and his son and successor, Ramesses II, continued the work after his death. Ramesses II was an overly ambitious pharaoh who wanted to leave his mark on history. He did this by erasing or modifying many of the monuments and inscriptions of his predecessors and replacing them with his own name and titles. This is what happened in the Temple of Seti I. Ramesses II decided to change some of the hieroglyphs that were carved by his father to make them more flattering to himself. He did this by covering the original carvings with plaster and then carving new ones on top of them. However, over time, the plaster eroded away, exposing parts of the original carvings underneath. This created a palimpsest effect, where two layers of writing are visible at the same time. The combination of these two layers created some strange shapes that look like modern technology to our eyes, but are actually just fragments of different words. For example, the helicopter is actually made up of two different hieroglyphs, one that represents a bow, a weapon, and another that represents an arm, a body part. These hieroglyphs were part of the names and titles of Seti I and Ramesses II, respectively. Thus, the helicopter hieroglyphs are not evidence of ancient technology, but rather evidence of ancient vandalism and an interesting example of how history can be distorted by human intervention. If you are a fan of ancient Egyptian history, you might have heard of the winged scarab pendant of Tutankhamun. It is a stunning artifact that has a hidden connection to astronomy. It is not because of its shape or function, but because of its symbolism and the material it is made of. The pendant mixes the sun and the moon as heavenly bodies that represent the power of the Egyptian kings. And the scarab beetle at the center is carved from a Libyan desert glass that was created as a result of an ancient cosmic event. About 29 million years ago, a meteorite smashed into the ground near the Egyptian-Libyan border, causing a powerful shock wave and heating up the silica-rich sand to 1,600 degrees Celsius, 2,900 degrees Fahrenheit, which is hotter than the inside of a volcano. The immense force propelled large amounts of liquefied sand into the air, which hardened and descended as glass. These glass fragments are scattered over hundreds of kilometers in areas in the eastern Sahara, in the deserts of eastern Libya and western Egypt, and have various hues, from semi-transparent white to yellow-green and glitter like a jewel. The ancient Egyptians honored the material as the rock of God. Evidence for the theory proposed by some scientists involving the explosion of a large meteorite or asteroid is the presence of high-temperature minerals such as cristobalite and zirconium oxide in the glass, which indicate that it has been exposed to temperatures above 1,600 degrees Celsius. This pendant is one of the most exquisite pieces of jewelry found in King Tut's tomb. It consists of a large scarab carved from a yellow-green Libyan desert glass. The scarab holds a lotus and a papyrus flower in its claws, representing the unity of Upper and Lower Egypt. On either side of the scarab are two cobras, or uraei, that symbolize the protection of the pharaoh. The scarab also supports a small boat that carries the Eye of Horus, the sign of the moon and healing. Above the eye is a silver disc with a gold crescent, depicting the pharaoh as the son of the sun and the moon. He is flanked by Thoth, the god of wisdom and writing, and Ra-Horikti, the god of the horizon and the rising sun. The pendant is framed by gold and decorated with lotus flowers, papyrus plants, and poppy seed heads. These plants reflect the natural beauty of Egypt. I hope you enjoyed this video and learned something new about the amazing artifacts and phenomena that reveal the secrets of the sky and the cosmos. If you liked this video, please give it a like and subscribe for more videos like this. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.